All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha Kodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Slack real quick. All right. So I just wanted to go into this lesson, okay, concerning spiritual growth, okay, and sacrifice, okay, because as in anything that and really before I even get into that, it's something that we should all get accustomed to, all right, or be accustomed to, all right, which is that sacrifice, okay, because the first coming into this truth, all right, that alone is a sacrifice. All right, because that's why the Lord said you got to be born again. All right, meaning what? You sacrificed your old life, your old ways, your old everything, all right, to start off new, to start off fresh. The things you thought you knew, you sacrificed that if they were contrary to the truth. Okay, and then you started off afresh, you started off new. All right, but sacrifice doesn't just stop there. Okay, sacrifice goes beyond that. Okay, in order to reach certain goals, in order to reach certain PRs, which is what personal records, okay, spiritually you have to sacrifice certain things. All right, if you're running at a certain speed and you want to increase that, now you have to either increase your training time, okay, or increase the weights you used, or whatever it may be, but you have to sacrifice the luxury of not doing as much. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me start off with this precept. Way of leisure. All right, is Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, verse 24. Okay. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 38 verse 24, it says the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. Okay, now let's look up that word leisure. All right, first let me check the online etymology. It says here free from business, idle, unoccupied, meaning like your free time. Okay, now let's look it up in just a regular, look it up on Google. Leisure. Yeah, so like I said, free time. Okay, free time. Opportunity afforded by free time to do something. So the scripture says what? The scripture says the wisdom, okay, of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure or free time, and he that hath little business shall become wise. Okay, because understanding that on that free time, really what makes us different, all right, is how we choose to spend our free time. Okay, that's why certain people are, I guess you could say, more successful than others. And I'm speaking on a carnal perspective, all right, or a carnal tip. Other people work harder than others. Okay, other people make time for what they need or what they want. And in order to do that, what do they have to do? They have to sacrifice the things that others don't sacrifice. Okay, so that free time, the time where you used to play around, whether you're playing video games or going out, okay, or doing all these simple things. Guess what? If you see yourself and you're like, man, I know these precepts, I know this, but I want to know more, okay, or I want to grow. Now you understand that certain things is going to take longer. Certain things you're going to have to actually sit down and do thorough research on. So you're sacrificing that time that you would maybe be playing video games, and now you're incorporating it because that time is your leisure time. That time is your free time. That time when you're not in school, when you're not working, maybe not sleeping, all that time is because you have 24 hours in one day. All right. And you're not working for 24 hours straight. Neither are you at school for 24 hours straight. So at some point within that 24 hours, you have what is called leisure time. Okay. So guess what, man? There's certain times when, yeah, your schedule might feel packed and busy, but now you have to look at all the different things that are making it packed, and then start trying to see where can you get squeeze some time from. You know, where can you gather some time from? Do you have to cut this a little bit? Okay. And then you put all those different areas together to give you maybe an hour or two, and you do what you have to do with that. However, like I said, this goes into what? Sacrifice. Okay. Not just in studying, but in how you move, even in your diet. You have to sacrifice the things that might taste good to you. Okay. But once you sacrifice that long enough and you discipline yourself, your body naturally adapts to things. Okay. So even for example with salt, if you start cutting down on the amount of salt you put in your food, all right, it'll get to the point where you don't even need to put salt in your food. Why? Because your taste buds get used to you not eating with salt in your food, in terms of adding additional salt on top of the natural salts that are already within the ingredients that you used. And so your taste buds get adjusted to that, to where when you add the salt that you would regularly use, it tastes too salty because your body gets used to it. But people don't give themselves enough time for their body to adjust to the new temperature or to the new way. And in turn, they end up giving in. Okay? They end up giving in. And it's the same thing in this truth, man. You have to give it time, all right, for you when you sacrifice, or when you're trying to grow spiritually, man, you have to do it continuously. It has to become habitual. And then it'll get stuck there. It'll become like second nature. Okay? So it says, John chapter 6, verse 27, labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life. What did Yahushua say? He said, my meat is to do the will of the Heavenly Father. All right. And meat is what? Meat is sustenance. All right. It's something that for the flesh is something that it needs in order to live. Okay. So you got to understand that in this truth, man, like the scripture says, labor not for the meat which perisheth. You have people here who spend their whole lives, okay, chasing money, chasing other things, but not understanding that those are all temporary. Those things will pass away. But the scriptures say, though heaven and earth pass away, roughly paraphrasing, the word of the Lord, all right, is still going to be there. That's why this meat, the spiritual meat, is what? It endureth unto everlasting life. It says, which the Son of Man shall give unto you, for him hath the Most High hath power the Father sealed. Okay, or verbatim, hath God the Father sealed. Okay, and the scriptures say Yahushua comes in the volume of the book. Okay, so you have to understand that what even doing that is a sacrifice. You know, because they brothers have talents, brothers had different ambitions in the world prior to coming into the truth, which if they had, you know, they could have pursued those. Maybe it might have brought you a little bit of money, it might have done this and that, but it's all temporal at the end of the day. Okay, and it takes discipline to sacrifice that. Okay, it takes discipline mentally, okay, to disregard the things that are tempting in this world, to disregard the path that your friends go down, you know, to where you decide rather to be alone, okay, and to be spiritual than to be with a multitude and to be wicked. You know, that's a sacrifice. It's righteous, but it's a sacrifice. Okay, and there are a lot of different things that you sacrifice in this truth, man, sometimes without even noticing it, without realizing it. All right. Even when we go out there and teach, that's a sacrifice. Okay. So this is Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not, and the Lord is not unrighteous as to forget our labor of love. So all these sacrifices we're making, really, they're sacrifices to this world, but they're investments for the world to come. Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Because what did King Solomon say? He said, all this is vanity, because you're going to gather riches, but when you die, what happens? You don't take those riches with you. It's going to be laid there for somebody else to come and take. So you risked your life, you took lives, all right? You committed all these different wicked acts to gain something that won't even stay with you forever, something that you're only going to use temporarily until you're not here anymore. So was it really worth it? Okay. So lay not up for yourselves treasures on earth. All right. Trying to become a president, trying to become a mayor, assigned to all these extra things. Guess what? I'm trying to get my master's. No, what you're supposed to be mastering is these scriptures, because this will carry on forever. But everything that's gained temporarily in this age is gonna pass away. Okay, if you have a master's degree, that's not gonna be relevant in the kingdom. That's relevant here in Esau society. A car, that's relevant here in Esau's kingdom. Okay, being looked at as acceptable and being in a high state in Esau's kingdom, that's all temporary, because Esau and his kingdom are going to be done away with. So we got next. We're thinking ahead. All right. It says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. So all the works that we're doing, like it says, labor not for the meat that perisheth. The works we're doing is going to earn us what? Treasures in heaven, meaning in the kingdom to come. It's going to earn us a seat. It's going to earn us a seat in the chariots of salvation. It's going to earn us a crown of immortality. It's going to earn us a physical crown. It's going to earn us, and what does a crown represent? Rulership. Okay? It's going to earn us everything we've ever wanted. Did Yahushua not tell that to Peter? That whatever you forsake here for the Lord, you're going to get 100-fold in the kingdom. Okay? For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So if your treasures are in the kingdom, that's where your mind is going to be, because that's what it means by the word heart. It doesn't mean this organ here. It means your mind. Okay? That's where your mind is going to be. That's why for people, people who like have money in the stock market and all these different things, where do you think their mind is? Hey, we got a brother who he always lets us know. He's like, yo, my boss, he's all constantly checking the stock market because he has a lot of investments in there. So his mind is constantly on that. When he wakes up, the first thing he's thinking of is, let me check the stock market. Let me check my stocks. Let me see how this is going. When he hears things about trade wars and the Dow dropping, he gets concerned. And the first place his mind goes to is that, because that's where his treasures are at. But for us, when we wake up, what's the first thing we thinking of? All right, what prophecies? What's happening? What's taking place? YouTube has become probably one of the most opened applications, because that's where we always at. Whether we're doing videos or watching videos, you might go on the Blue Letter, you might go on RT News, you might search up articles, whatever the case may be. That's where your mind is. If breaking news was to come out of nowhere, maybe today, and talk about Israel just bombed Iran and U.S. just backed them with another bomb in Iran. That's going to be the only thing that's going to be on your mind for a good minute. Why? Because you understand that that's prophecy. And in order for us to get to the kingdom, these prophecies have to be fulfilled. And being that our treasures are in the kingdom, we're looking at the kingdom. So once these prophecies hit, that's where our minds are at, man. We're constantly meditating upon spiritual things. All right. All right, moving on. This is 1 Corinthians chapter. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 22. It says, to the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. All right. Let me see. Okay, weak, infirm, feeble. All right, but basically, Paul was saying, man, because you understand that in this truth, yeah, we all come from different walks. Not all of us are on the same level. Okay, not all of us have been given the same portion of the Spirit. For some, it might take longer for them to understand certain scriptures. For some, they just get it just like that. you might not even need to finish the sentence and they already understand where you're going with it. So we've all been given different measures. All right. And so like Paul was saying here, he was basically flexible with it. He knew how to be patient and take his time with those that it will take longer with. He knew how to come with those that are quicker with it. So it says, to the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. Okay, because guess what? Being able to adjust, all right, and adapt in order to gain certain people is a good trait to have. Being able to go from yo, what's good, my G, to hey, how are you doing? Or is everything okay? Being able to switch like that, it gives you the benefit of getting to two different kinds of people, or not just two, but multiple different kinds of people. It's like being able to speak different languages. Okay. So that allows you to flow from one to the other. All right. Being able to get wherever you got to get. So it says, and this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be a partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. Yeah, because there's only one first place. Okay. First place means number one. One is singular. Okay. So yeah, you might have a race. Okay, everybody's running in a race, but what is everybody's goal? To come in that first place. So that has to be your goal. Okay. That means that, all right, if I want to come in first place, then I got to put in the work, man. Because when I'm chilling and I'm relaxing, and I'm not doing anything, I'm wasting time. You have somebody else who's taking that time and they're perfecting themselves. And I'm competing against this person in a race. Guess what? I know that, hold up. This person trains 5 hours a day. I train 2 hours a day. All right. And that's not because I only have 2 hours. I got extra 3 hours, but I just be chilling on that time. Guess what? In a race, he's going to do better. Okay. So it says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now let's look up that word temperate. Okay. You want to talk about a master's degree? This is what you want a master's degree in. All right. To be temperate, it says to be self-controlled. All right. Continent, to exhibit self-government, conduct oneself temperately. In a figure drawn from athletes who in preparation or who in preparing themselves for the games abstain from unwholesome food, wine, and sexual indulgence. You see? Why? Because they're sacrificing these things in preparation for success. They want to grow. They want to do well in whatever they're going to do. So they have to put away distractions. Okay. And that's what it goes into being temperate, to be self-controlled, to be able to know when to do certain things and when not to do certain things. Why? Because you're able to prioritize. You know what takes priority over another, depending on what time it is. Okay. When it's time to do the work, you know what time it is. Okay. Now, I'm not saying go out here be tearing up and chewing books all day. No. All right. These are all things that first and foremost you have to pray for. Okay. You don't force yourself to do something that is not within you to do. But what you can do is pray to the Lord to put that within you to do it. If you can only run, this is just a random example. If you can only run 20 miles an hour, but then you're trying to force to hit 30 miles and now you get hurt, that's on you. But what you can do is you pray to the Lord to give you that strength to where you can run 30 miles an hour. Okay. So now when you're forcing it, you'll be at 40 miles. But when you're just running, you'll be at 30 miles because the Lord can increase you like that. Okay. You pray to the Lord, of course, concerning, something that he's called you to do, concerning the work that's pleasing to him. Yeah, he's gonna give it to you, because that's like your parents always telling you, yo, read, study, do well. And then you come to them asking them to buy you a book. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, of course, I'll buy you as many books as you want. You come to them about video games, they're like, you know. It says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate, self-controlled in all things. You have to have a balance and you have to be disciplined in all things. You can't overindulge. Everything is good, but what is good in moderation? All right, because the scriptures say a false balance is an abomination to the Most High. Proverbs 11 and I believe 1. Okay, it says now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Okay, so for example, a boxer, right? He stays away from sex. He cuts down his weight. All right, you know, to meet the certain requirement for the fight, but he does that for a corruptible crown. Okay, you might have somebody that's studying, you know what I mean, they go into the library all the time because they want to pass this test so they can graduate. That's a corruptible crown. You know, you have somebody that does all these different things. They train, they do so many different things, and they discipline themselves. They're temperate because they want to master what it is they're doing. They want to achieve that mastery level in it, but it's a corruptible crown. They're doing it on a carnal level. Somebody might go on a diet. They hit in the gym every day of the week, disciplining themselves, staying away from junk food, staying away from distractions, because they want that glory of having that body. That's also a corruptible crown. But how much more for us who are doing it for an incorruptible crown? Because what, they all are still temperate in whatever they're doing to reach that mastery level of it. All right. And so we also have to be temperate. The only difference is what we're doing it for is an incorruptible crown. Meaning what? We should go all out. Okay. It says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. So he knows you got to know what your target is. You got to know where you're throwing your punches. Okay. You can't be like those kids who they get mad and they just close their eyes, they black, and they just start throwing punches everywhere. You know, here it is, you over here, but then they're throwing over here. You know, they're what? They're wasting energy. Okay. You can't be as somebody who you're doing it, but you're not really certain about it. Then guess what? You're not going to be able to succeed at it. You got to come in there knowing why you're doing it, what you're doing it for, and how you're going to obtain it. If there's an obstacle in your way, you gotta find out, why is this an obstacle and how do I overcome it? What is this stopping me from doing? Oh, it's stopping me from doing this, and that. How is it stopping me from doing this, and that? Oh, because I'm not this. Okay, so now I need to do this so that this has no effect on me anymore. I need to be certain as to why I'm doing this. So I know that regardless of how I feel, that certainty is my anchor so I can keep on going. Okay? When I fight, I know my target. I know I'm trying to knock this person out. Okay? So now I know maybe I shouldn't just be throwing reckless punches. Maybe I'm studying the way he's throwing his punches so I know when to counter. Okay? I see his habits. I see he likes to drop his hand after he throws that hook. So now I know where to go and how to counter it. These are all things that you have to, put in mind spiritually. Okay? I know that when I'm around people who smoke, it's gonna tempt me to smoke. So now I'm gonna stay away from that. That's you countering them demons. I know this is tempting. I know here it is. Nobody's gonna ever hit my phone up, but on a Saturday, everybody's hitting me up with plans. Guess what? I'm putting my phone on do not disturb because I know them demons, man. Okay? Or if I see a call and I know it's not from a brother, I'm not really picking up because I know it's from somebody that only wants to hit me up when they want to chill. But it's Saturday. I got work to do. You see? So I'm countering them demons. That's a sacrifice. It says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. Okay? Subjection meaning what? It's obedient. All right? So you have to bring your body into subjection to your spirit. What the mind says, the body follows. Not what the body says, the mind follows. No. You don't change your mind according to how your body feels. No. Your body feels what your mind says. Okay? That is also sacrifice. When you fast, that's a form of sacrifice. Your body's constantly telling you, yo, What's up with that, man? Damn, yo, that chicken's looking crispy. Just imagine how that would taste on your taste buds, man. You knock that down with a nice, bottle of water or whatever. All these different things are what? They're all your body trying to bring your spirit into subjection under it. Okay? But it says, lest that by any means when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Why? Because you might be preaching to somebody, but if you're not disciplining and taking care of yourself first, they might take the message that you give them and they might use it and they might discipline themselves and you might end up being messed up. You might end up falling subject to your flesh. Okay. But they will take the same information that you had, but they'll use it the right way. They'll take the same ingredients you had and they'll turn it into something, as where you had the ingredients which you gave to them. However, you didn't use it the right way because your body wasn't under subjection. Okay. You did not discipline yourself. In order to be a disciple, you have to be disciplined. Okay. That's why Yahushua was so austere, because he had to be. All right. In order to make sure that his job was going to be done within the span that the Father gave him, he had to be in that mindset. In the kingdom, Yahushua, it says what? He's going to drink with us, But when you're in a serious time, you have to be serious minded. Okay. Moving on, this is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. It says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight. Okay. Because we do have a cloud of witnesses, man. With this work we're doing, guess what? You have for example, those who are on the common board watching, those who watch us, those who come around, those who help and all that, they are part of that witness, those witnesses, man. Okay. In essence, the rest of the 1/3 are witnesses to the 144's work. And the world ultimately is also a witness too. Okay. But with that being said, we have to lay aside every weight. All right. And the sin with which doth so easily beset us. That's why the scriptures say, let not your sins weigh you down. Okay. Because they will pile up on top of you. Okay. And the distractions will magnify them, man. And next thing you know, you getting lower and lower. You feeling like gravity went from 10 times to 20 times to 30 times. You could barely move your leg. You got to take those weights off, man. You gotta take them weights off, man. If you got a weighted vest, okay, and what is that? Maybe that might be I don't know, your woman who's being a demon and corrupt. You gotta take that off, man. Okay, you got ankle weights, man, which might be your addiction to playing video games or something too much. You take that off, man. Okay. You might have wrist weights, whatever, wristbands, super heavy, man. Okay, whatever that is, you got to take it off, man. Okay, maybe it might be an adulterous woman at school or at your job. You got to stay away from her. You got to cut her off. These are all different weights, man. You might have desires to do certain things that is going to take you away from this truth. You got to stay away from that, man. That takes discipline to be able to tell yourself, yeah, I might want this, but no, I'm not going to have it. Even though I have access to it, I'm not going to do it. Why? Because I am staying away from it for a greater goal. I'm not looking at the right now. I'm looking down the line into the future. Okay. It says, and the sin which doth so easily beset us. Okay. Because being enticed to sin is just like that, man. It's very easy to sin. Okay. It is very easy to go off, man. You let them demons get you, you'll be swept in a matter of seconds, man. Okay. And that's why you have to be super careful. It says, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Because the race is not given to the swift, man. In this race, you're gonna get to the point where you feel super tired. Okay. You feel exhausted. You feel spiritually drained. But you don't stop running, man. That's when you start meditating. You start thinking of what it feels like to be in first place. You start picturing yourself, crossing that finish line. You start, everybody's like, oh, that's what's up, yo, yeah, then you start picking yourself up. Okay. then you forget about how tired you are. Okay? Because you have to run that race with patience, man. You have to pace yourself. And patience means to suffer. So understanding that in the race, you're supposed to suffer, man. But at the same time, you have to pace yourself. You can't say because I'm suffering, I just want to sprint and get it over with. No, the kind of race we're running, we haven't seen the finish line yet. Okay? So you have to keep running and suffer the patience of the pain, but also the patience of not knowing when exactly you're going to see that finish line, but understanding that you're close. Okay? So you have to have that in mind, man. Verse 2, looking onto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. All right. And because of that joy, because of the dominion, the kingdom, and all of that, Yahushua went through what he went through, man. Therefore, we got to do the same. Okay. We call ourselves disciples. Guess what? We got to follow in the steps of our master. Okay. But I'm going to end this video here. Okay. Yeah, basically that's it. Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. Okay. Hey, keep that in mind, man. All right. We're in this to win it. Okay, we're not in this to have plan Bs. No, ain't no plan Bs, man. Your only option is to succeed. That should be your mindset. All right, and pray for it. Okay, because so long as you're praying for something to do better in what pleases the Lord, He's gonna give it to you. Okay, but I'm gonna end it here. Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Until next time, Shalom.